My burden for revival started probably 54, 55 years ago as a very young Christian. When I was first saved, I came across some literature that suggested that revivals were no longer possible. I didn't even know what a revival was. It made me interested in revival, and I began reading what I could find in the area. There wasn't a lot, but I saw the possibilities of what God can do in times of revival and began praying then that I might live to see revival. And before the revival in 1971 in the church I pastored in Saskatoon, I saw revival on a small scale once at an inter-varsity Christian fellowship camp on Lake of the Woods, Pioneer Camp. The camp I was directing, and it was rather interesting because on the way down on the train to a place called Waugh, Manitoba, the Lord led me to give out tracts on the train, and the flesh didn't want to do that, but I did it. And at the camp, we had a wonderful revival. It got to the place where teenage kids couldn't even eat their meals. They had to be saved. God had such a hold of their hearts. And I saw kids sitting at the dinner table with their head on the dinner plate under conviction of sin. And it was a wonderful, wonderful time. And I saw something what God can do. And the Lord made it very clear to me at that time that what I saw at the camp was connected with my obedience on the train. God blesses us when we obey Him. The Lord worked with them, it says in Mark chapter 16. And so then on another occasion, I had a shantyman missionary in Canada speak to a group of 24 Christian workers at a Bible camp. And here also we saw revival. We had planned he would speak, and then we would ask questions, but long before the first session was over, I knew it would be no time for questions. It was a time for prayer. And all I said was, brethren, let's pray. I didn't say let's kneel. I just said let's pray. And every man in the place fell on their knees and started to pray out loud all at the same time. And several came to me afterwards and told me they could no longer preach until they got their lives straightened out. Well, that was the second time I saw a touch of God in revival. And of course, it made me hungry for something greater. And the next time it happened in the church at Saskatoon before the revival in 71, I had a meeting of deacons one night. We had 10 deacons in the church. And all I happened to say was, if our hearts are not right with God, it's not much use to pray. And I quoted a Bible verse or two. And the place just kind of fell apart. And guys began to cry. And one deacon came running over and put his head on my shoulder and wept and asked my forgiveness for his attitude, and another deacon dragged another deacon out of the place, and they made things right. And this was before the revival came. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do with it. Perhaps we could have had a revival at that time in the congregation if I had taken the deacons and turned them loose in the congregation the following Sunday. Something probably might have happened then. That's all in the mind of God. I don't really know.